Sweet 16 Thursday and Friday. Every team a 6 seed or better, except for Arkansas way over there on the right. They're a 10 seed. First time in almost 20 years that we don't have an 11 seed or higher in the Sweet 16.
Do you laugh when people call them a Cinderella?
They're not a Cinderella.
I know they're not a Cinderella.
I don't laugh. I get mad.
Okay.
That's Amanda Guerra. I'm Chris Hassel. We've got Sportsline's Tim Doyle with us. Timmy, we're going to pick every game here in the Sweet 16. We're going to go in order of tip-off, okay? So we're starting with the early game on Thursday, and this might be the most intriguing matchup of the tournament. It's BYU and Bama, first team to 90 wins.
Yeah, well said. This is going to be a high-scoring affair. Defense is optional with Alabama, but BYU, they have the model. They make the new age sauce. They have a GM. They hired a former NBA assistant, and they have some fantastic talent. If you've not seen Richie Saunders play, he is an amazing talent. They got big guys down low that have been awesome, Triore, Keita. But the guy that I absolutely love, and I mean love, and he's the best pro prospect in this game, is Igor Demon. Now, he's 6'9", shoots the three. He can put the ball on the floor. I'm picking BYU to win this game. Even though they are underdog in this spot, I think BYU can go toe-to-toe, and they are, Hassel, the first team to get to 95. My only problem here is I feel like your name, when it's Igor, I feel like you're like this, hello. Like, I feel like you're like, I've never met an Igor that's not like, oh, hello, everybody. Like, so I like BYU in this spot.
Wasn't that Young Frankenstein, except it was Igor, not Igor? Neither one of you are watching Mel Brooks movies. All right, that's okay. Both of you need to watch that movie. Let's go to the game after that. Maryland going up against Florida here. Florida favored by 6.5. Both of these teams needed late comebacks in order to advance. Tim, why are you stressed out so much?
I picked Florida in my bracket. I think Maryland could easily win this game. This was like one of those that I sat there and I said, she loves me not. Like, I went back and forth and back and forth. I think Florida's the best team in college basketball. They didn't look like that against UConn. And Maryland, well, I'm sure if you're a Colorado State fan, you're saying, well, they're even lucky to be in this place. Queen traveled. He might have traveled, but I'm happy the ref didn't call it then. I'm picking Florida to advance. I think their backcourt is simply better than Maryland's backcourt, but not by much. Walter Clayton Jr. is sensational. Elijah Martin, Will Richard. They also have Alex Condon. Condon versus Derek Queen's going to be an awesome matchup. I think whoever comes out of this game can win the national championship. Florida is my pick, so I'm picking them here.
I just checked. I do have Maryland advancing in this game.
I do too. I have Maryland to the Final Four.
I do as well.
I don't necessarily feel great about that right now.
Oh, no, I lied. I don't.
What?
I have them winning this game.
Okay.
And going to the Elite Eight, just not the Final Four.
Let's go to the favorites to win the tournament going in and right now, the Duke Blue Devils against Caleb Love in Arizona. And Tim, Duke fans can't wait to get him back because he ruined Coach K's final home game and his final game period in the Final Four when he was at North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Love is one of those guys. Arizona's playing in this game because of him. He can shoot you in a game. He can certainly shoot you out of a game. He's going to have an all-world performance. What does that mean? I don't know, 30, 35 points. He's capable of that. It feels like he's been in college forever. It's been 5 years exactly for Caleb Love. It's hard to pick against Duke. I think everybody has Duke advancing. I wonder, Hassel, Amanda, does anybody have a perfect bracket? Because with all these higher seeds going, you know how no one ever has a perfect bracket? I feel like a lot of people, I have all my Final Four teams alive. I feel like a lot of people's bracket is still intact.
Yeah, I got 6 of my Elite Eight and all 4 Final Four. Is there one perfect bracket remaining? There was going into late Sunday. There was one in the whole country. There was one. And Warren Buffett finally had to pay out his millions. He kind of tweaked his formula, but he had to pay out $1 million to a couple of his employees because they had a good first round.
A good first round, which is
not perfect, but good.
Okay, a good first round. It's fine. No, there are no more remaining brackets. And I did look up. Nobody has ever had a perfect bracket.
No, it's impossible.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Pretty much impossible. So that game tipping off at 9:39 at 10:09 Eastern. Again, ridiculous start time here. We get Arkansas going up against Texas Tech. Texas Tech favored by 5.5 in this one. Arkansas, the only remaining double-digit seed. Look, I'd love for this upset, Tim, because I don't feel like we're going to get many, so I would like this one.
I can see it. What a great win by Arkansas, right? All season long, we talked about St. John's and their three-point shooting. Will it come back to bite them? It's ironic it was against John Calipari because he had a team in 2008, Amanda, that did not shoot free throws well. I'm talking about the Memphis Tigers and Derrick Rose, and everyone in the tournament was like, one of these games, they're not going to miss some free throws. It just happened to be a national championship game, and they blew the national title. So it was ironic that St. John's lost to Arkansas. I'm picking Texas Tech here. I think Grant McCasland, their head coach, could coach Kentucky or UCLA or North Carolina. He's that good of a coach. Chris and I called games when he was on the sidelines in North Texas, and we were just waiting for him to get a big opportunity. He's gotten a big opportunity. He has a superstar in JT Toppin. I think Texas Tech's going to be ready to rock and roll. Give me Texas Tech here.
All right, those are the Thursday games. Let's go to Friday. The first one up is the big one for you, Timmy. It's Ole Miss, the Fighting Frauds, against Michigan State. At this point, are you rooting for this to continue, or do you just want it to end?
I am in now a win-win situation, okay? Congratulations to Ole Miss. You're in the Sweet 16. I did not see that coming. I learned a lot about myself to no longer use the F word, Amanda. No more using the F word, which is fraud. I have Michigan State advancing in this region to the Final Four. So I have them beating their next opponent as well. But it's becoming the point, if Ole Miss wins this game, I'm going to take you back in the time machine. Rocky IV, he goes over to Russia, and that crowd was against them. But then they started to turn, you know, and then Rocky said after the match, he grabbed the microphone, he goes, if I could change, and then the Russian interpreter goes, hey, skibidi gotcha, then you can change. Hey, skibidi, everybody can change. So if I can change towards Ole Miss, you have to win this game because you're knocking out my Final Four team. If they win this game, I'm doing the full Rocky IV, and I'm all of a sudden becoming a huge fan.
I doubt that Ole Miss fans will start cheering for Tim, though, if he does that.
No, I feel like his face is like on a dartboard in their locker room.
Yeah.
I'm surprised somebody like secretly, like their social media hasn't reached out saying, can you please root against us? Because it's worked out so well.
It has
for them
worked.
so far.
They've pulled 2 upsets in their first 2 games. They're looking for another.
Okay, so we're on Friday right now. This game, that game's starting at what, like a little after 7. This next one at 7:39. We have Kentucky going up against Tennessee. Interesting here, Kentucky has beat them twice this season. Tennessee's coach has said, look, it's not a bad matchup for us. We just haven't played up to the level I know we're capable with in those games. Tennessee favored by 4.5 in this one, though, Tim. Who've you got?
Yeah, interesting, right? Kentucky's won the 2 matchups, yet Tennessee is favored here. I like Kentucky. Now, full disclosure, I had Kentucky go to the Final Four. What I love about this team, Amanda, is they really embody that word team. They've had 6 guys averaging double figures all season long, but they share the basketball. They have assisted on nearly 70% of their buckets in the NCAA tournament. And Lamont Butler looked much better in game number 2 than he did in game number 1. He's going to be the X factor. He's got the black shirt on. He's got the bad shoulder right now. But he's made some enormous shots in the tournament. Go back to a few years ago at San Diego State. Kentucky's got an interesting sauce. They got older guys, but everyone buys into their role. I think they own Tennessee, and they win this game.
All right, that would be 3-0 this season. It would knock out the Vols, obviously, from the tournament. Let's go back to Atlanta here in the South region. It's Michigan and Auburn. And, you know, the Tigers are heavy favorites here, but they're not playing like that overall number 1 seed that they earned.
No, because Janai Broome is not healthy. There's no other way to say it. He averages 17 points of the season. In 2 NCAA games, he's only averaging 11. He's shooting 40% from the field. I'm going to pick Auburn in this game. Full disclosure, I thought they were going to win the national championship in February. And then Bruce Pearl's team, eyeball test, I was like, ugh, I jumped off that bandwagon. I also picked Alabama to win before the season. I picked Auburn midway season. Now I'm picking Florida. So a lot of SEC love here. The matchup to watch out for is Michigan's got fantastic big guys. Vlad Golden plays down low, and Danny Wolf plays on the perimeter. I wonder, Hassel, who Broome is going to match up with. I think he's going to match up with Golden because he just simply doesn't have that same movement and explosion I've seen earlier in the year. Michigan's going to have a special shooting night, which they're capable of from behind the arc. Both Wolf and Golden have to be sensational for them to win this game. I trust the experience of Auburn. Auburn's starting lineup is almost as old as OKC's starting lineup, and they're the best team in the NBA, so experience pays off. Give me the Tigers.
Final game on Friday, final game of the Sweet 16. We get Purdue going up against Houston. It was interesting. We have a manager here, Tracy. She graduated from Purdue, and I saw her yesterday. She's decked out in Purdue stuff. She goes, I got to wear it now. because I don't think I'm going to get to wear it after this.
I don't know. It's basically a home game for them.
Yeah, that is true.
Indianapolis.
Houston favored by 7.5 in this one, though. They've looked remarkable in this tournament. Tim, who have you got?
Yeah, you know, hats off to Tracy. She was a student athlete at Purdue. That's before NIL. I don't know if she was getting money under the table, but she was up on studio, and I picked against Purdue in the last game, and she was actually behind the camera, and she just did this. I was like, does that mean I don't have a job anymore? She goes, hey, you see your contract right here? She started waving it in front of me. I'm picking Houston here. I think Purdue is going to have a great home crowd, but Kelvin Sampson has won 30, I repeat, 30 games each of his last 4 years. This is his most talented offensive team. You remember the old Houston teams? It was like 58, 55. They would win every game. Now all of a sudden they're scoring in the 70s. They could shoot it from deep. I love LJ Cryer there. It's interesting, Kelvin Sampson going back to the great state of Indiana, where he ruined my senior night, Hassel. He was the head coach of Indiana when they beat me on senior night. And how bad was it at Northwestern? The audio system went out during my senior night. So I just walked out of the tunnel, no announcement, with my parents. And my mom had like balloons and stuff. We had no audio. Talk about, I mean, what year is this, for crying out loud? I think Sampson take care of business. And Tracy, okay, I'm up in a little bit. Let's renew this contract, okay? Just because I'm not picking Purdue, don't run away from me, okay? Give me Houston in this spot.
Tim, we appreciate it. I didn't like he just addressed you when he was telling that story. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he acts
Chris
like
and
you're
Amanda,
not here.
He just said Chris. Not appreciative, Tim, so maybe I hope some of your picks fail. Sweet 16 getting underway Thursday and Friday. Make sure to stay up late, pour that coffee. You can watch the games on CBS or stream them on Paramount+.